I'm doing my best. I tried my best, but did you? Right? The difference between being interested and being committed, when you're committed, you will do whatever it takes. You will push yourself through barriers. You will push yourself through comfort zones. You will follow the plan. You will follow the blueprint of what's required of you, and you will do whatever it takes. So there's a difference between doing your best and doing whatever it takes. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode on the Thoughtonomy podcast, where we want to get you to think for yourself in a world that wants to do it for you. I'm going to be flying solo today, and I think what I want to talk to you about today is just to explain the concept of why sometimes I believe that doing your best is just not good enough. Sometimes doing your best is not going to get you what you want. So hear me out, and let's see where this goes, right? Because I want to ask you a very important question right now. Are you a chicken or are you a pig? Let me repeat that for those of you who are going, what the hell is he talking about? Are you a chicken or a pig? And where I get this question from is, it's actually from a cartoon meme that I once saw, where this dad and this boy are eating breakfast together, and the dad's trying to explain to his son about why he should be more committed with his studies at school. And he's looking at his breakfast plate, and the dad says to his son, my boy, on the plate here you've got 2 eggs and a piece of bacon. The chicken was interested in this meal, or the chicken had an interest in this meal, where the pig was truly committed. And that's the thing with the concept of, are you a chicken or are you a pig? Are you interested in what you're doing, or are you truly committed? And let me explain the difference, because this conversation can be applied to so many different aspects of your life. And obviously we're talking business when I talk about real estate or sales or entrepreneurship, but we could be having this conversation in terms of a relationship or a friendship, or any aspect of your life in terms of wanting to improve yourself. Maybe you've just started with a gym routine or a new exercise routine, or you're starting with a diet. We all know what it's like when we get involved with a diet or a new exercise regime. It's really, really difficult to get going. So you've always got to ask yourself, are you interested in what you're doing, or are you committed? And here's the difference, right? If you're interested in something, you will generally do what's convenient. Right? You'll do what's easy, what's comfortable. You will do things that fit within the parameters of your comfort zone, because that's what you're used to. All right? You'll do the bare minimum, and you'll probably convince yourself that you're doing enough. And that's when quite often we hear this phrase or this comment come up going, well, I'm doing my best. I tried my best. But did you? All right? The difference between being interested and being committed, when you're committed, you will do whatever it takes. Right? You will push yourself through barriers. You will push yourself through comfort zones. You will follow the plan. You will follow the blueprint of what's required of you, and you will do whatever it takes. So there's a difference between doing your best and doing whatever it takes. And let's use an example. We'll use 2 examples. All right. Let's talk about fitness, for example. For example, if you are starting a new diet, or you've gone to a personal trainer, and you've decided that you want to change your body shape, or you want to get fit, you want to lose some kilos. Doing your best is going to entail following the plan up until a point where it gets difficult. I've done my best, but now I'm tired. I'll stop today. I've done my best, but my body's feeling sore. I'm not going to go to the gym tomorrow. I've done my best, but I'm not seeing results. I've given it my best, and I'm going to quit. And this is where the idea or the concept of resilience comes in. When you're committed to do whatever it takes, you're going to push past every single boundary and every single barrier. So when you go home from work at night and you've got to go to your 7th or your 6th gym workout in a row, there's something within you that's going to push you to go, I've got to do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter how I'm feeling. It doesn't matter what comfort zone or what barrier I'm pushing against. I'm going to push through, because this is the action plan and this is what is required of me to get the results. Now, I always say that success is relatively simple. I never say that in an arrogant way. But what I mean by that is success starts with having a goal, or having something that we want, something that we desire. And if you want it badly enough, you're going to go out and you're going to get an action plan or a blueprint that's going to break down the goal or the achievement of that goal into steps. Steps and activities and a plan of activities. And when you get that blueprint, you've actually got with you a guarantee that you will get results, or the results that you want, if you stick to the plan over a certain period of time. And this is where it's so important to have a mindset of commitment, where I will do whatever it takes. Because the plan is guaranteeing you success if you stick with it over a long enough period of time. And as human beings, unfortunately, naturally, we don't have a lot of resilience. We tend to give up too soon. We want instant gratification. And if we don't see results straight away, we tend to quit too soon. How many of you have ever been on an exercise plan and you know what it's like when you go to the gym for the first time after a long time, or you go for that first run, or you're even you're on a diet for the first time in a long time, and now suddenly you're doing things that are making you uncomfortable. You're doing things that are making you feel uncomfortable. And you wake up in the morning and your body's aching and your body's stiff. And you think to yourself, wow, if I'm feeling this sore, this must be working. And you go into the bathroom and you take off your shirt and you look at yourself in the mirror and you cannot believe what you see because there's no change. And you're feeling all this pain. Those are the moments where we want to quit too quickly. But doing whatever it takes means pushing through those pain barriers and sticking to the plan. So for anybody who's out there who's searching for excellence or who's searching for some form of goal that they just keep bumping their head against the door and they can't work out why they're not able to push through, what we need to understand is that when you're doing your best and you're just interested in something and you're bumping into comfort zones, you're 100% not prepared to push through. And you've all heard the saying, or people say that the magic lies outside of your comfort zone. Well, unfortunately, the comfort zone is a real thing, and it comes from our unconscious mind. And 95 to 97% of our behavior is unconscious. But the primary directive of your unconscious mind is to keep you safe and warm. Right? A comfort zone is very, very real. And when we start pushing towards the outer images or the outer levels of our comfort zone, there's something within us that goes, this is getting a little bit tight. Let's just creep back into comfort and creep back into safety. And this is the power of the unconscious mind. It wants to preserve, it wants to keep you safe and warm. But the unconscious mind is also the domain of all your emotions and your morals and your values and your behaviors. So it's a powerful force that you're working through. But consciously, we have to get ourselves into a position where we're aware of this. Remember, if something's unconscious, we quite often don't even realize that we're doing it. So here's a couple of things just to help you with regards to anything in your life where you're struggling to push through that comfort zone to take yourself from being interested to committed. And the first thing that I always say is that you've got to know what you want. And I know this sounds fluffy, and I'm not going to go into talking about goals right now, but whatever it is that you want, you've got to focus on the positive of what you want. And then you've got to say it out loud. So let me give you an example. If I want to lose weight, my goal has to be, I want to be X amount of kilos. It can't be, my goal cannot be in the negative. For example, I can't say I don't want to feel fat or I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my skin. Because what happens is when we focus on not being fat, we'll work towards our goal with this negative. And as soon as we feel like we've lost a little bit of weight and I don't feel fat anymore, I give up. I stop. Human beings give up and they quit far too quickly. For example, your goal might be to lose 10 kilos, but after 5, if I'm not feeling fat anymore, and remember my goal was I don't want to feel fat, I'll lose 5 kilos, I'll get into that comfort zone and I'll quit, I'll stop, and I'll go back to my old habits. As opposed to my goal of I want to lose 10 kilos, I want to be at 90 kilos, and I'll work until I get there. And at no point do I ever stop. I'm committed to that goal. So having a goal, making sure that it's stated in the positive. Remember, your unconscious mind doesn't differentiate between negative and positive. So we state everything in the positive. We focus on the positive goal of what you want. Your goal is never what you don't want. Unfortunately, we can actually lead ourselves towards what we don't want if we're stating things in the negative. And then we say it out loud. And this is something I've always believed in. And I'll never forget when I started running, I just suddenly had this goal where I wanted to run 5 kilometers. And to be fair, I'd never been a runner. I always joked about the fact that I couldn't even run to the fridge if I tried. And when I stated this goal, I put it on Facebook. I told people in my office. I've just started a whole new exercise regime with a coach. I told people about it. And the reason I put it out there is because there's this universal form of accountability when you state your goal and you put it out into the universe. And what you'll find is people will come up to you and they're rooting for you. And they'll come up to you and they'll ask you, hey, how's the running going? How's the exercise going? How's the diet going? How's this course going? Whatever it is, how's your business going? How are you doing with your sales goal for the year? And what's powerful about that is there's always somebody either cheering for you or checking in on you or holding you accountable naturally. And accountability is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Unfortunately, everybody wants accountability until they have it. But when we state our goal out loud, we get this universal accountability from people around us who are actually cheering for you and they're rooting for you. And you may not even realize it or not. So that's the first thing I'd always say. Say it out loud. It's far too easy to have a goal, you write it down and you slip it away into your diary. And if you don't achieve it, well, it doesn't matter because nobody knows. So you never have to face disappointment or failure in the eyes of other people. But I'm just telling you now, I think it's way more powerful to do the opposite. Don't be afraid of not hitting your goal. So many people that I coach, they're afraid to give me a number because they're so afraid that they're not going to reach it. And again, this is where the difference between interested and committed comes in. And I honestly believe that they are afraid of hitting the number because on some level they know they're not going to do whatever it takes to hit the goal. So have a powerful goal, have a strong goal, and don't be afraid to say it out loud because the value that you get from the accountability and the people around you who are cheering you on is immense. The second thing that I would say is it's always good in terms of placing yourself in a position where you're committed is to pay for something. And I know this sounds strange, right? Put some skin in the game. Right? Sign up for a training course, take on a coach, invest in something that's going to help you get closer to your goal, and it's going to help you get closer to the fullest potential of who you are as a human being. And when you invest in yourself, it's powerful because you're going to get the best return on investment that you'll ever get. You're going to get you in a more improved version of yourself. You're going to upgrade yourself to a new level. And when you do that, anything's possible and things just start happening around you. And again, I bring it back to practical experience and things that I've gone through in my life. I've always taken a coach in any aspect of my life. And the ones that I've got the most value from are the ones that I've paid the most money to. And I know you're probably sitting out there going, yeah, but Grant, you're a coach. Remember, my primary business is real estate. My secondary business is coaching. I only ever take on 4 external coaching clients because I got to manage my time and then my speaking and my book. But my primary is real estate. And the people that I coach in my real estate company, I don't charge them for. So please don't think that I'm saying this because I want you to all run to me and pay me some money. I'm telling you as a lesson in life, as a life lesson, when you pay for something and you invest in yourself and you put some skin in the game, you see the results. And there's no better investment than you can ever make than in yourself, taking yourself to a new level. So I've when I started speaking, I invested money for a 3-day coaching course where an international coach came out to South Africa and we went into a hotel in Johannesburg. And for 3 days, he taught me how to tell stories and how to use stories. And now that is something that I've added into my speaking, which I believe sets me apart as a speaker, my ability to sell and tell stories, which I never had before. And if you've read the book, or if you've read Thoughtonomy, you'll know every single chapter has a story. That's my style, but that's come from a coach, from me investing in myself. At different stages in my real estate business career, I've had coaches. I'm always looking overseas. I'm always following coaches. It's an amazing learning that you can get from somebody who's walked the path before you. But it may just be you're interested in something and you're trying to follow it on Google or on YouTube or on social media. But until such time as you take some money and you invest it into yourself and into your business, that is the moment you'll see the best return that you'll ever get on anything that you ever spend. And then the third thing is you've got to be committed. So you've got to stick to it for at least a month. It doesn't matter what you're trying. If you're doing a diet or if you're doing a new exercise program or if you're starting a new marketing campaign in your business, you can't try it once, see no results, and quit. I don't know what it is about human beings. We love this concept of instant gratification. But I always say that instant gratification is the one thing that will kill your dreams, because I see it in my business all the time with the real estate people that I coach. We give them a blueprint. We explain to them the basis of why this blueprint is going to work. We give them the evidence of who's used it in the past and the results that they've gotten and they've achieved. And then we ask them to put it into action. And they're always very good on the first week. And they'll make their calls and they'll send out their mailers and their campaigns and they'll do their marketing. They'll start a branding campaign. They'll put some posts on Facebook and they don't get a response. Some of them even do drops and flyers into the neighborhood and they'll do it once and they don't get a response and they'll quit. Whatever it is, you've got to give it at least 30 days. And that's a starting point. If you quit before 30 days, you haven't even given yourself the chance to build and form the new habits. But more than that, anything new that you start, anything that's going to have meaningful long-term impact on you, your life, or your business, there's a period of what I call seed planting, where we're putting things in place. We're planting seeds just like a farmer. You plant your seeds first, and then you water them every single day. And eventually, over the longer term, if you keep doing it, you'll get the results. I remember once I had a friend who was he had a sugarcane farm up at the north coast, and he was going to convert some of his sugarcane space or land into macadamia nut farms. And the process that he had to take for macadamia nuts, which at that stage, I don't know if they're the same now, they were the most profitable produce you could grow on a farm. But there was a 2-year waiting period just to get the seeds for the macadamia nuts. And he had to invest. He had to pay up front and then wait 2 years. And then once he got the macadamia plant seeds, it was a 5-year process before they were able to be harvested. So for him, there was a 7-year wait, right, from the time he invested to the time that he was going to receive reap his harvest. And in that period of time, in that 5 years, there's a plan, right? There's a blueprint of activities that as a farmer you have to do every single day. A farmer cannot wake up in the morning and look at his ground and go, I'm not seeing anything breaking through yet. I'm not seeing any little seedlings coming. Let me not water the fields for today, or let me quit. It doesn't work like that. So whatever you're doing, whatever long-term meaningful growth or success that you're aiming for, we're committed to the process. We're committed to the process, we're committed to the plan, we're committed to the blueprint, and we're committed to the activities, and we keep doing it for as long as it takes. We do whatever it takes, and you will see results. And we've got to stick with it, whatever we're doing, for at least 30 days. And if after 30 days you're still not seeing results, you keep going for another 30 days, as long as you trust in the blueprint and you trust in the plan. So that's my little spiel on commitment for this week. I think I see this a lot in my business in terms of the people that I'm coaching. I'm doing my best. That's something that I don't like to hear. And I know it sounds terrible, because sometimes somebody really you believe that you're doing your best. But I want you to shift your thinking from I'm doing my best to am I doing whatever it takes? Because when you're doing whatever it takes, you're now the pig. You're no longer the chicken. And you're committed to the process. And when you're committed to the process and you're investing in yourself, I guarantee you will see results in the long term. That's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. We'll catch you next time.